Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 Lincoln Nautilus Reserve III. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at the website, that link is down in the description. This Nautilus is finished off in diamond red, and the MSRP starts just over $63,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo. It's also paired with the optional hybrid system along with the CVT transmission, and it pumps out 310 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,500-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 20 gallons. You'll expect to see 30 miles per gallon in the city and 31 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 114.2 inches. Its overall length is 193.2. It has a width of 76.9, a height of 68.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 7.9 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for this SUV, this has a lot of nice luxury features. You'll notice too, there's also lighting for the Lincoln badge right in the middle, and it goes off of both sides, leading its way to the LED headlight housing. So it's a really nice integration. You'll notice some brushed accents for the rest of the grille accents, and there's also a sensor in the lower section for distance pacing, more brushed accents. There's parking sensors as well, and then lots of cutouts too to provide better airflow and aerodynamics. There's also some nice lines that come down the hood as well. You'll notice too that the fender arches are body colored, which is great to see. Really nice set of wheels. And then Nautilus is also underneath the power folding side mirrors. There's this trim accent that goes all the way to the end of the front doors. And then you'll notice there's a camera and a turn signal for the gloss black side mirrors. You'll notice too the entire roof is finished off in gloss black, where this has some brushed accents for the roof racks and then a full moonroof up top. As we take a step back, this has some more gloss black accents in the lower side skirt there, and then a really nice division with the strip that runs between the red and the gloss black for the roof. Now in back, there's a very large third brake light along with the wiper blade up underneath. There's also LEDs for all of the lighting, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then some more brushed accents. Now this also has remote start, so just lock it, double tap the button on the key fob, and this will start up. Now you won't be able to hear it because this has that hybrid option, and then you can double tap that button to shut it off as well. Now you can use the button up underneath or the key fob to gain access to the cargo space, where you'll notice Nautilus is also spelled out in that lower section. And then for this 2-row SUV, there's quite a lot of space in the back. You'll notice too that you can also fold down the back seats from the back here, which is nice. And then if we lift up this all-weather floor mat, you'll notice there are some tie-down hooks where you can place items, and then there's a spare tire underneath. You can use it for a little bit of extra storage if you really need to. There's also a hook there, and then you have an area where you can place the cover and slide it in as needed. And then there's one button up top you can use to close that lift gate. Now here's where there's a really neat distinction compared to most vehicles. The door handle is not in that traditional location. It's actually in that trim accent that separates the body color from the windows here. So just pull on the back side where there's the electronic release, and that is how you can gain access to the doors. Now for the interior, really nice beige design along with the release handle located right there. There's also some really nice trim accents for the speaker system, and then some storage in that lower section there. And then more of that light color for the seats, which have a great design to them. And then you'll notice too, there's actually auxiliaries behind the front seats. There's storage pockets. There's also the heated seat adjustments along with air vents underneath that. There's one auxiliary at the lower section. And at 5'10", I have about 2 or 3 inches of headroom, and these do recline, so it's very spacious to be in the back of this model. Now you'll notice there's the armrest with cup holders that poke out of the end there. And then with the cargo windows in the back, it's pretty easy to see around this area here. Now up front, this also has the keypad, so you can use that as well. And then up front, you get memory seating adjustments, all the window controls, side mirror adjustments. There's also the Revel audio system, and then you have some storage down below. And then a really neat design for the front seats that have a lot of adjustments to them. You'll notice there's a split in the leg rest because you can actually change both of those. So you can just focus on this left side, or you can focus on the right side there to get a little bit more comfortable, and you have the rest of the controls down below. Now, as we enter this Nautilus, let's start it up, where you have a massive screen in the dash. It's separated very nicely. So you'll notice on the passenger side, there's some trip information at the moment, along with music. There's a clock, navigation, along with some vitals above that. And then you have basically your head-up display or your gauge cluster, miles per hour, speed limit sign, and then your fuel and lane keeping assist. And then looking at this oval steering wheel, it's pretty simple. You'll notice there's no controls on both sides. You have these touch sensitive buttons here where if you hover your finger, you'll notice in the gauge cluster, now we can see on this right side, you have volume, tuning, and then voice commands for the lower section. You can click on OK to play and pause the audio. And then for this left side, same thing, just hover my finger where there's cruise control and lane keeping assist. Now you can actually control what you would like to see, so they are configurable depending on what you use the most, which is really nice. But interesting design for the two-tone look. Now on this left side, there's the liftgate release, fuel cap release, the e-brake, and then headlight adjustments, dimmer switches for the gauges. There's one air vent. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, you have this screen down below where for the home setting, you can get into the split view. You can also get into some driving modes, so you can monitor all of these within the screen itself and go through these as needed. If we go back, you can go into your seats. So you have massaging seats for your driver and passenger, and you can go through all of these settings here, just depending on how you want to have everything set up. There's vehicle status, even the ambient lighting for the interior, which you can adjust, and you have various settings that you can get into as well, just depending on how you want everything to work. So you can scroll through everything on this left side here to get into all of those as needed. There's also those 6 icons there where you can pull up all of these icons, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and get through the rest of those. And then the last one here shows you some of this information that you can get into as well. Now in the lower section, you'll notice shortcuts to the heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. There's temperature adjustments, fan speed, and you have a few other AC controls. There's more air vents underneath that, and then this is how you change gear. So with my foot on the brake, simply just push R down, where you'll notice that camera system pop up in the dash there with the top-down view, and then you have the ability to change those angles from here. So that's pretty neat. You don't have to reach, of course, to that screen. You can adjust everything from down here. Then you have drive, neutral, low-range gear, and park. Now behind that, front right in the middle, there's volume. So it's a large dial to go through your volume there, but easily able to reach. There's auto hold along with hazards. There's also a shortcut to parking, so you can pull up the sensors there. You have max for your defrosters. You can even pull up the camera system, so you can quickly do that. And then the last one behind that is for the driving mode, so you have a shortcut to do that. There's wireless charging along with cup holders and auxiliaries. You can also hide all of that away. And then right in the middle, there's more auxiliaries and storage. You'll notice too that there's an interesting design on the back section there. And then for your passenger, you have the glove box there with a good bit of space, rear view mirror, dome lights up top, along with controls for the sunshade and sunroof there, and then a sunglass holder as well. And here's a look at visibility, where it's very easy to see. You have quite a lot of glass for the design of this SUV. As we sat off behind the wheel now for this Lincoln Nautilus, I really don't have much experience with the Lincoln brand. I don't get to drive and review them often, so it's really neat to be able to check this out and see what Lincoln has for their latest model. With this too, it took a little bit of time to get used to, especially the design of the steering wheel. It's not a full circle like pretty much every vehicle, but it's actually really nice with the hand positions on both sides. So you have a really good grip at 9 and 3 here. Handles well for a normal turn like that. But this large screen, I think, is really nice. A lot of brands are going towards bigger screens, and I've seen complaints with other vehicles that I've reviewed about maybe the system or the screen is just kind of stuck onto the dash. This is very well integrated into the dash itself. It gives you kind of a different view with having the gauge cluster there instead of right behind the steering wheel, where you have more of the leather here that you can see in between it. But I think it's really nice. You can easily glance over and look at your audio, the time, some of the other information that you choose to put up there. It should be configurable on that other side there through some of the settings, which is nice. But so far, this is a really nice vehicle, very luxury focused for its pricing. And I think it has some nice features as well. Now, it's also worth noting that you can get this without that hybrid option, so you can just get it as the turbo inline 4-cylinder, or you can have the hybrid as an additional option. The difference between them is this has a CVT, the non-hybrid will have an 8-speed automatic. So there's a difference there as well, just depending on what you choose to get and what is going to suit you best. Now, since it has a CVT, there's no paddle shifters or anything like that, so we'll just slow down a little bit, but we can also change the driving mode. Let's go to Excite, where we can give it a little bit of gas here, and it'll get up for a slight and quick acceleration like that. It's not a fast SUV by any means, it's not trying to be, but you do have some adjustments with basically your throttle response. There's even a deep conditions mode too. So if you happen to take this off the pavement, you can put it into that setting for the all-wheel drive system to give you some better grip in those situations. But for the few miles that I've put on this, it's been a very quiet vehicle as well. I could see this being a very nice, smaller size, luxury focused SUV if you are not looking for one of the German competitors. So if you want an American brand, you can go with Lincoln, which is a little bit more luxury focused than Ford, so it's its sister company. This is a really nice option to go with. One thing that this has, and Lincoln and Ford have in general, that keypad on the outside is something that really no other brand has ever done. I think it would be really cool if other manufacturers could do that, but maybe there's a patent or just a design with this where you can only get them on certain Ford and Lincoln products. A cool feature to have, so that way you can be keyless when you're on your adventures or wherever it may be. I know some people with Fords that use it all the time, and that is one thing that would be nice to have, so you don't have to consistently carry your keys with you. And so with a mild acceleration, here we go. And we can get up to speed. Again, it's not the quickest SUV out there, but it has a good bit of power, especially for the weight of this, to get up and merge and to get up to speed. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this Nautilus. Now, the closest that I have been able to be in a vehicle with a screen like this is the new Cadillac Escalade. That screen is much closer, and it is much bigger since that is a wider vehicle, but similar to this design here. So that's the closest competitor, not that it's a direct competitor, but the closest technology that I've seen to this here. But I do think it is nice that there's still the normal or traditional infotainment system. So none of that is a touch screen. Obviously, with how far away from the driver it is, you can go through everything in this system here. So it's a really nice blend of technology without being overboard. So you can quickly go through everything and learn it well. Super comfortable vehicle to drive. You do sit low for an SUV, kind of a crossover SUV. You sit pretty low in it, but obviously you have the height adjustment if you need that. And at my height, 5'10", I have about 4 inches or so of headroom. So you could be much taller than me and still fit comfortably in this seat. We do have an automatic steering wheel as well, so you can use that as needed to get that dialed in there. And it's a really nice place to be. Armrests are super comfortable. You might be able to put your arm up here. It's a little bit high for me right now, but you have that if and when you need to use it. And the fit and finish is very nice. I'm impressed for the price and some of the other brands and competitors for it. This seems like a really solid option to go with. And as far as maneuverability goes, we have a pretty tight turning radius here. So for its size, not all that bad to quickly do that U-turn and then back up to speed. It's very easy to see what would be called the gauge cluster there, even with the steering wheel. So maybe that's why it's got that flat top to it, so I can easily see over it to that screen there. So nice design elements like that. But this is a nice option. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on the Lincoln. Is this a competitor to some of the German rivals and brands? Ford and Lincoln are really stepping up their game with their interiors and the luxury and features that they provide for the money. It's a great option to go with. So if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.